line today's match. And I was going to say, I have a feeling that maybe Villa might have been something a little bit higher up, but we are going to be headed to Border. I have not cast Border in the ANZ region for a very long time.
And it is not popular at all in ANZ. And I mean, maybe that's the blessing for some teams with theme park coming in, as it means that their focus of insta-banning goes to that.
Yep.
And it means Border will slip through a little bit. And some of these teams have historically been good at Border, but because so many teams ban it out, it just doesn't get a chance to be played. So we will see it here. And some of the new operators can breathe a little bit of extra life into Border. We saw Pittsburgh Knights play it in the first half of the season. And they actually did bring some new strats with a Goyo Frostkinda combo. Be interesting to see what these teams will bring.
I'm still just looking at Theme Park and where it was banned out in the second phase. That interests me a little bit, the fact that maybe Kanga could have let it slip through one more and have banned something different out. But that's okay. We're still going to end up at the same result, I feel. And Border's going to be a very interesting one. I'm just going to have a very quick look. No, so we have not seen Fury play Border at all. Is that correct? Yeah, we haven't seen a Border matchup on Fury. So not for Pro League anyway. That's not to say that they haven't played it previously. But this could bring that... It's always that break in the middle that just kind of... It does separate the season completely, and what one team did in the first half does not necessarily mean it's going to be mirror imaged, and we've seen that literally in the past two nights with both Wildcard and Sinister performing the way they did. So, man, I'm strapping in for a big one here.
Yeah, and I think especially when you've got such a long split, it allows teams to work on their insta-bans and actually get some strats for it, and you can use that into your, again, veto phase to catch off some teams when you come back. And maybe that's what we're seeing from one of them here. Potentially one of them thought that Border would be banned out much earlier. Maybe it was being baited out. But it's here.
That's it. It's here, and now we're going to prepare for what will be a fiery matchup. It's a clash of two teams that are currently only 3 points apart. So Kanga obviously being the bottom team in this instance. And not just the bottom team in this instance, the bottom team on the ladder. They have a lot to prove, and I feel like Spruce coming back into that roster does not by any means revitalize anything. A little bit of a Spruce fan here. Generally because he's just a nice guy. Doesn't mean he's very good at Siege. That's right. Clip it. Send it to him. Ouch. Then again, like, I'm shocking. So I guess, you know, my reputation is on the line here. It's just his. I can banter with him all I like. All of a sudden I've turned into Valley and I'm just attacking him.
Where's the trash can?
Damn it.
Unbelievable.
I need to get a photo of Spruce and just throw it in. Please. That would be way too entertaining for myself.
Oh, man. Yeah, look, Spruce coming in I think is a really interesting inclusion for Kanga because he has played Pro League before, so he will inject some kind of experience in for them. He even played for Fury on a LAN environment at Six Masters last year at MEO, Melbourne Esports Open. So all that experience can help a team like Kanga who are debuting in Pro League this season. Obviously they have played out that first half, so they've got a little bit of, you know, Pro League under their belt. But all that extra experience will help.
I do think that it will be a nice merge when they kind of come together here, because I remember speaking to Spruce and, you know, there were reasons why he needed to leave the roster previously, and some for personal commitments, but some also to try and change things up in his play style. And I genuinely think that when players do, you know, kind of take a step back and come back into the scene, there's almost like a new vision on how the game should be played. And this isn't, I'm not just talking specific Rainbow Six, I'm talking across all esports. Taking a step back and having a break at this level of the game, it always seems to change, one, the mindset, and two, very much the play style and how they ebb and flow throughout the match.
I think that's important too, that those players that do take a break and come back allow their mindset or allow their vision of how things are played to change, because you can't take time off, come back and be like, no, this is how it worked when I played, so that's what we should do. It's not how it works. Like, things develop, things change, and especially in Rainbow bringing in new operators every 3 months. Metas will shift, map pools change, teams work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Theme park's in, right?
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to the day that we get a theme.
I hope we get it.
I don't know whether we will. Maybe.
I hope we do.
I kind of feel like it'll take like a Kanga Sinister match for something like that to happen.
Maybe.
Where we see a theme park, even a Fury Kanga. Come on, guys. Second map, please. If you're listening right now, please, for the love of God, bring out theme park. I want to see it played competitively. But we can start to make a bit more of a centered conclusion with how this one's going to go. Fury have had some very good results against the top team. Kanga have drawn with Fnatic. the other games aren't really so much to write home about.
Win
Actually,
against
no.
Wildcard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a huge lie. I looked at that in the wrong way.
It's a close game, though.
Yeah, they beat Wildcard 7-5. So each of these teams have taken it to the top teams, and I think TBD, a similar and close result for Kanga. It was 4-7 on both occasions. So actually, when you kind of match these teams up, they are very even in score lines.
Yeah, they are, and I mean they're not really separated that much on the ladder. It's 3 points at the moment that really separates them. Kanga were in 7th place until last night, with Sinister finally getting some points.
Yep.
So if they want to try and stay ahead of that bottom place, they will have to, of course, take at least one map against Fury tonight. And Fury, of course, if they want to try and stay in touch with the top 4,
Yep.
they're going to be hunting points. I think both teams are feeling very even at the moment, and both are evenly fighting for something.
Yes.
I think that really is mixing for a good series here.
We've set the expectations. Now I need your expectation on how this map's going to go. How is Border going to go? Are we going to be putting it more toward Kanga or more toward Fury?
I am actually really torn. I'm probably going to go more towards Fury. I think that their playstyle is probably favoured on Border.
Yep.
But we haven't seen how Kanga will go with this 5. Like, it's quite a big change for them.
Okay, so you're going a little bit more toward Fury. There's their map pick. Let's see what you guys thought at home. Believe that it might even echo. Yes, there we go. So I feel that is a pretty decent end result from the community vote. I feel that does kind of maybe a little bit more toward Kanga, but I'm still pretty happy with that.
I think that is probably the most reflective of any community poll to match up that we've probably ever seen. I think that's exactly how it is. It could definitely be a draw. Like I said, I'm really edging towards Fury, but Kanga have this real essence of unknown based on how their roster has changed, and they have had some good performances in the first half against good teams, so they could show up.
And that's the beautiful thing about this right now, is they could just do a Sinister. Regardless of the results that Sinister had. Sinister had some close results in the first half, but never got more than one draw. This could be a time for all of these bottom teams to really show up and make it a tooth and nail kind of fight, because at the end of the day, Raven, you said, they're all fighting for something. It may not be the top 4 placing that maybe Fury might be going for example. They are still somewhat in a possible realm to do that, but it's still a game that has stakes involved. Both of these teams have a lot of pride and, well, quite a lot on the line. So let's have a look how this is going to unfold. We head to Border at number 1.
We will head to Border, and as you said, it feels quite strange to be casting Border. I honestly can't think of the last time that I casted a Border game. Probably was that Pittsburgh Knights match, actually, and I think that's the only one for the season. Wait and see what the operator bans will bring and how that will affect this map. No real standardized meta within ANZ.
I just saw the small little spruce comment, and it's already taken me off. Poor Sushi, what has he ever done? Thermite off the board in that hard breacher. We will now see where Fury decide to put their eggs. What basket will it be? Will it be a Thatcher? Will it be a soft breacher? Will it be a roam clear?
Flank watch.
Or a flank watch, sorry.
Flank watch.
Yeah, that made no sense whatsoever.
It's valuable, actually. I like the Nomad ban because, I mean, there's a lot of ways to flank around on Border, and runouts, of course, is a big characteristic of Border. So putting air jabs in those positions can just make it a lot more comfortable and not possible. I mean, a big one is a lot of window jump outs, and they're much harder to counter air jabs on because you can't try and edge peek to shoot the air jab. You're vaulting out, and then you're stuck. So I like the Nomad ban, and it will mean that the defense can play a little more freely.
Maestro and Mirror now being taken out for those last bans. And the only time I think I've really seen Mirror being left in was pretty much 2 matches ago, and it was used to full effect, so obviously still teams are not really interested in playing the what seemed to be quite a fair amount of trickery on that defensive side. It really does almost change the entire way that you look at a map when that mirrors up. It's just so much more dangerous.
Yeah, it requires just so much more coordination to clear. If they've got wall denial on it, you can't just simply, use your Habana charges, you'll have to use utility, whether that's an EMP grenade or vertical play. And even if there's not wall denial, sometimes it can be tricky to get in a position to open the mirror or clear the mirror. Twitch isn't always reliable to get in and pop the canister. So it's just easier for a lot of teams to ban out the mirror and not worry about that. Of course, Armory is the first bomb site being played by Kanga here on the defense. Very much the favorite, and a lot of teams have started to develop a bathroom tellers defense for border. It wasn't always the meta in ANZ, but definitely globally, bathroom tellers is getting a lot more play. So I'm really curious to see whether these teams have developed something for that.
Well, it does seem as though sometimes we do have the, well, actually, to be fair, more often than not, especially on maps like Coastline, we seem to be like 3-4 months behind the curve sometimes. So who knows? Spruce looking, go ahead and yeet that belt cam out and check for any other drones that may be hanging about. Will this come out too little too late? I feel like they're going to be able to see that, and it should pretty much be shot instantly.
Yeah, I got to feel like Shade would have heard that land. He's probably going to try and find it. Oh, what a beautiful grenade from Shade. Perfectly cooked onto Spruce. Not even a chance for him to use those cams for the run out. I was going to say, there's an old clip going around of Spruce. I'm pretty sure there's an MEO of him playing Valkyrie. And I was almost going to say, Spruce,
oh, no.
Great to see him back, but maybe keep him off the Valkyrie. And you know what? Here he is. But he didn't get a chance to do anything with it, as Shade did shut him down. And it means Fury are very swiftly taking CCTV, security room, which means that that's a lot of map control for this push. And it's going to give Kanga a lot to deal with for the next 2 minutes.
Fury not wasting too much time and taking a fair bit of that control. Security now, Warden.
Attackers have located a bomb.
For a second looked like he was going to edge a little bit closer, but pulls off the line. And Rock with a fair bit of control, obviously having the pre-prepped line. Wayneman will walk directly into it, maybe even try and engage, and it's not going to go right at all. Kanga has fallen apart here in round number 1. And so far, they're yet to even tickle Fury.
Yeah, really trying to play it aggressive is Kanga. Maybe that opening frag just means that they're trying to just claw it back and not sit and take it. Fury are poised to essentially try and get a plant down. They've got that armory wall open, considering it was left soft by Kanga. There are only 2 defenders, 1 caught off, trying to rotate. This could potentially be a flawless round for Fury here, Rob.
Boats with the Hail Mary drive-by and finished off. I don't know whether Kanga got 1 shot onto Fury there. And that's not the way you want to be starting the second leg of Pro League.
No, that won't feel good. Not at all. They're just going to have to shake that off and try and bring this back. Makes me wonder whether this has really played into Fury. They looked super comfortable attacking that. Absolutely read everything Kanga were doing perfectly, and Kanga just had no answer. I mean, look, it's only been 1 round. So let's not write Kanga off just yet. They can have a chance to adapt, and they're going to one and done with bomb site. They're going to go straight to vents. They're not going to try it again.
Well, at least they learnt their lesson. I guess that's the main takeaway for us. Sometimes we do see a lot of teams just continue, and it's there is a point you need to make that call and start going, okay, well, that's just not working anymore, but good to see we're not going to need any such warning. Setting up for the upstairs room as well. Ensuring that they don't get those vertical lines early.
Yep, verticality, oof, hard to say, is very important on border, especially fourth floor. So they've got Shade to do just that, and potentially some breach charges on these other operators, but either way, Shade will be the primary operator to do so. Wayneman looking like he might be playing up here in Armory to contest. Unit staying along with him as Legion, just to slow down the push. They've put a lot into Armory, which might mean that Fury push from the east across through Office. We'll see what they decide to do here. In fact, they might not even push vertically at all. Looks like double entry in towards Passport.
Such Kanga not too eager to take those very early round engagements, not this time anyway. as they start to clear out. Sushi will undoubtedly hear the footsteps of Unit now. Shade just going to catch the backside, but not be able to capitalize off any of it. Maybe just some spray and pray. Hope that something connects on the end of it, but nothing will. And with that, it's not for naught. Nothing gained, nothing lost in the end.
Unit just playing some bullet holes there at the top of metal stairs, looks like, through Fountain. We're going to have to be careful because that is hard to spot. If they cross, we'll be caught off guard. Kanga look pretty spread out. We did see Spruce playing down in customs there, and a nice shot from Unit does catch Shade off guard with the bullet holes. So, much better start here for Kanga.
Kanga decides to step away for a small second. Leb now might have to deal with 2 players depending on whether they decide to push a little bit deeper. Doesn't look like there's really going to be any nuisance. Oh, wow. Boat's nearly getting caught out. Warden will find Spruce. Now an eye for an eye. Kanga seemed pretty free and running around. Well, nicely done, Warden.
Shot himself in the face, stunned his teammate. He's doing well. Looks Spruce maybe a little too aggressive there in custom. He could have played that much more passive and used it more so for a flank. They didn't seem overly aware of his position. Was a nice shot from Warden to take him out, and another nice shot from Rock there. So Fury bringing this back. Kanga now in a man disadvantage in his final 50 seconds, and that just continues.
Kanga just seemed to be walking out into the open for Fury. That's 3 kills that have come just without really any hesitation. And again, onto the same line that we saw one of their teammates die. Unit walks directly into Rock's crosshair. Every day of the week you're hitting that. And I feel like that was almost a free round for Fury after the work that was done so early on from Kanga.
Yeah, it was a good start. They played nice and patient. They got that entry pick from a good spot from Unit using the bullet holes. And then I feel like they just tried to make too much happen. Peeking out, trying to get those frags, maybe just trying to stay unpredictable. But Fury were ready for it. They had their angles held, and at that stage I just don't think it was worth it. Better to conserve and try and calculate that later round, because the other thing is when it's early round, that's when attacks are more ready for repositioning, flanks, aggressive plays. When it's late round and there's more emphasis on the plant, that sometimes can fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
So it's about calculating it, timing, and just seeing when it looks like the attack is in that vulnerable position.
Yep. Capitalizing on situations, and we will see them reattempting toward the archives and armory, but there was very, very little success. It all started on the back of a Kobe from Shady, from downtown as well, if I might add. Poor Spruce on the receiving end after receiving some earlier banter. I don't think he's really going to be getting away from this one too early. But prep phase now done and dusted. Rotates being made for Kanga. And once again, it looks like we're going to see something similar towards security.
I mean, look, just quickly looking at the scores, Shade is the only one that has died from Fury. I mean, it's been 2 rounds. But that second round was pretty much also another flawless. Quick entries from Fury, just catching Kanga completely off guard. And I'm not sure whether this is all just beautiful droning from Fury, catching Kanga off guard, or Kanga just completely unaware of what Fury is doing. Either way, Fury are very much in control of this match so far. It's starting to feel like Kanga are going to struggle to even get around. It's early, but that's how it feels at the moment, Rob.
Yeah. We were trying to find ways to build the storyline for Kanga here, because right now this is not promising whatsoever. And unfortunately, unfortunately for them, maybe fortunately for Fury, everything that Fury has done just completely has shut out this defender side. Again, the only kill that has come is from Unit, and that was the opening kill of last round. And then from there, everything crumbled. Everyone was caught out in the open trying to cross. Shady still hunting for another kill there. This time, Spruce stands strong.
Finding that also a little bit strange, having Spruce on the dock on the bottom floor by himself. I guess to deny the vertical play from Shade, and he's done just that by actually fragging him out. But if Shade hadn't pushed that, would have had very little effect, and even his teammates on site that might have needed some stims couldn't have expected them. Kanga are fighting back here. They've picked up a couple of kills. They've got a strong man advantage now, which is not a position they were familiar with. And all of a sudden, it's up to Warden, Rob.
That very quickly fizzled out. Warden, absolutely no clue where to look, and will be stabbed in the back by Spruce. And Kanga now get to play with at least another round here. No,
Okay.
that didn't just happen, did it?
Oh,
no. Oh well, take it as it comes. Take it as you please. Ventilation and workshop is where we head next.
Well, that was much better from Kanga, and maybe a little sloppy from Fury. Again, I'm not too sure. Downstairs, did Shade really need to push Spruce? I don't know. He wasn't going to be able to deny plants or anything like that from down there. You could have potentially kept him at bay. But regardless, Kanga starting to fight back, and we'll see how they deal with vents and how Fury will adapt to what Kanga pulled out on that last round.
Spruce sticking to the pulse rather than the vigil. And look, fair enough. They step up strong in the third round, regardless of how they do so. Fury got pretty much demolished at that point. And now we're rocking around with some kills. Now we can't point to that and say what is going on. And looking like similar from where Wayne Man was set before on that castle.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, last time on this defense, Kanga really just
5 seconds
were
remaining.
peaking too much too early, and Fury were capitalizing on that. If they can just have a little bit more control, play a bit more of a delay game here, they'll have a much better chance. And Fury, of course, just need to continue to be thorough, because they were, you know, a bit out-aggressed on that last round. They really did finally get some frags. Fury not looking to push the vertical play, which is a little more common on this bomb site, but not something they want to do. Another early frag coming out here. These opening kills are coming really quick, and it's Leb from Kanga finding this one.
Bit of revenge. In the last round, it was Shady that managed to find Leb, so it's only fitting. Spruce, just with some more information, I'm sure he'll want to back away now. Rock has well and truly sent it in, so further control for Fury as they start to claim a little bit more of that bottom side. Just quite patient in doing so as well. No one really contesting, waiting.
Oh, and they have started to make their way upstairs. It's Warden here on the Zofia, moving towards the top of metal, maybe pushing beepers. Some rotates downstairs from Kanga. That's Spruce going back to site as the pulse. So maybe looking to get some C4 plays as Warden and Sushi approach office. Warden finds a pick, evening it out onto Leb. There's a flank coming out in break room here, but Wayne is ready for it. It's Warden taken out, 3 versus 4. Starting to even things out here. Fury don't have a whole lot of control as half the rounds played.
And we'll reconvene. Done in waiting as they are doing exactly that. Starting to make their way a little bit further across. Already taking tellers there. Sushi can now start to open up those Havana pallets. Don't know if there's anyone there to deny any of them. So some lines held. Bathroom now open a little bit more. Further progression from Fury, and not a lot has really been pulled out from Kanga to stop this, nor do they need to. Fury need to make the plays. Kanga can just sit.
Yeah, this is much better from Kanga as well. It was at this stage, if not earlier, with a really just mad peeking Fury trying to make something happen, but they're playing really patient and passive here. Wayne Man is still on the top floor. Spruce is on site. He can get the intel for his team, but maybe nobody else there to assist. Wayne could from above if they've got the holes preset. But regardless, Fury Gonna have to make something happen.
Oh, nice shot from Boats on the... rather, that was Sushi on the pre-fire. Golden now making his way in. That is now into a 2 versus 2. Diffuser is going down, not for a second. They pull off it for half a tick. And that is going to be the trade coming out from Wayne Man. He'll stand strong and shut down Sushi as well in the 1 versus 2. Kanga will grab another round.
It's great to see the adjustments that Kanga have made, because really those first couple of rounds looked very loose and you could say a little tacky. Just that aggressive play style was completely getting shut down, and the patience from them paid off a lot in that final round just then. So they've brought 2 rounds back. It's 2-2, and they're much more in touch with where Fury's at. And that's great, because now the onus is starting to be pushed back onto Fury to adapt in these next 2 rounds of this half. And if they fail to do so, Kanga can take that advantage.
After the second round, Kanga really have turned this back. Once again, we're going to see a 6 pick onto the pulse. This time it's Leb, so Spruce remains on the vigil. Remains on the Matt Andrews.
Yeah, the Pulse really got a lot of intel. It was Spruce playing it last round, but the Pulse was good. They got the early intel that the push was coming close towards Passport, and then Spruce again on site getting intel for his team. And while he didn't really get any picks, it led to frags. And that's going to be what Kanga need to do, is just play off the smart intel to get the picks instead of just plain peeking here. Going for customs, which is in general the preferred bomb site for the 3rd pick on border in ANZ at least.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds remaining.
Setup's done and dusted, and it looks like we haven't really lost any drones on the side of Fury, so saved in that occasion. Maybe if Spruce peeks out there, he might be able to find 1 or 2, but instead they're now going to be setting up a bit deeper, a little bit more passive, and like you're saying, the tackiness from Kanga has all but diminished as we're now heading well past the halfway point of that first half. So technically the first quarter, only 2 rounds left in this. Kanga, a fair bit of presence upstairs.
Fury with a lot of emphasis on that west side nice and early. Maybe looking to take that top floor from the west across, but Spruce get the opening kill. This is a big difference between those first 2 rounds. Fury were aggressive early, getting opening kills, but Kanga have really fought back. Opening kills going in their favor. Taking Shade off is also a bit of a factor player. Shade has stepped up a lot for Fury throughout this season. Having him off the board is going to ease some pressure.
Gordon now ensuring no one's looking for a flank. No one's trying to do them dirty. We'll be setting up quite nicely here. Golden going in ventilation. Shots coming through, but nothing connecting as now Warden tries to take the fight with Spruce. And Spruce comes out on top. 3 versus 5. Kanga are doing much, much better this time around. The past 3 rounds have looked completely different.
They've flipped a switch, and they've fixed a lot of mistakes really quick, and that's what you want to see out of a team. You want to see some quick adaptation. Spruce finding another off-camera there. Warden getting the Claymore kill from the grave, but it's still 2 versus 3 in favor of Kanga. Not long to go for Fury, and not a lot of control that they have. So Rock is just going to yeet into A. Maybe he's going to try and plant here, Rob.
He actually gets taken out through the boxes. That's okay. Spruce.
It's actually on the ace there, Mr. Spruce. He's got the 4K at the
Someone
moment.
from Kanga, please take it. You know they're not going to. They're going to allow him to at least try for this, but please, someone take it away from him. I don't even care how this round comes out. I just don't want to see Spruce with the ace.
Hey, I thought he was your mate, Rob. Come on.
Nah, he is. He's a good bloke. I don't mind him. It's all good friendly banter. The second he drops, all the noise will be made. He's going to try to make it a little quicker. And he's still not giving Spruce the satisfaction.
No!
No!
He got the satisfaction.
No!
Spruce on the ace, on the vigil as well. Single-handedly just dismantled Fury on that round.
Jeez, just unload a full clip, why don't you, Spruce? Worst ace ever. I'm so glad.
Well,
This is, of course, against his former team. I
true.
to add that.
That is true. But look, they've really turned it around. Fury were nothing but dominant in those first 2 rounds. Absolutely. And now Kanga have won 3 in a row, and they've been playing it much better. More passive. I mean, like, Spruce was peeking things then. As the Vigil, I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Like, you bait out, you delay a bit with the utility, but ultimately, if you're going to do much, it's delay time and get some picks.
Yep.
And he really did do that, and he got those picks because it picked all of them. And now we've got Kanga here on 3 rounds, potentially looking at a 4-2 half. And I mean, I was criticizing them after 2, saying maybe they won't even win a round.
Yep. Well, seriously, the way that it started, I mean, obviously something has been said in that 3rd round that has actually kind of reeled them back in, because they were spiraling out of control, taking fights they didn't need to, not preparing early enough. Fury were just walking in and literally hand-picking the first kill and then just steamrolling from there. So it's a lot better from Kanga this time around, and I guess you can definitely say thanks to Spruce for that round, but still, nevertheless, Kanga was still in a good position. They'd set up in the right way. As much as it can come down to one player finding all the kills, it's anything but when you look at the micro.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to support players, probably feeding him the intel to get the kills. Could call it like a support ace. Oh my gosh. Spruce just deleted on the run out there, not even 13 seconds in. And similar position to what we saw Kanga on the first round of Armory. Gotta say, man, I mean, Kanga were peaking too aggressively, too early in those early rounds, lost. They've got 3 in a row. Spruce gets an ace, and he's a bit hungry, I've got to say. Not a great play there.
It's just so fitting. That's just so Spruce. There is no better way to go out than with a bang like that. So we could still see this end 3-3 as a wholesome tie. Although, ever since that 2nd round, we've definitely been feeling like Kanga have been able to pick that number, and Fury have still been finding opening picks. Don't have any doubt about that. They just haven't been able to capitalize as much.
No, and they're taking their time, taking break room or whatever map control they're trying to get. I mean, Shade is in customs below, so he can play vertically, but I mean, if they've droned out break and Shade's below, they should just have that control if they're doing the armory push. I think I did see Rock slowly enter there on the outlines. Ooh, nice angle from Warden. Catches Unit off guard. It's the Jaeger, so there's still...
What a read.
I was about to say there's still some denial on the board, but actually that's gone in the smoke. This is looking much better for Fury to close out the first half. Could be looking at an even 3-3.
That was preempted from Warden then. Finds that first kill and immediately decided to look out of Archive's window. Led giving them some hope. Never mind.
Bomb located by
And he's down below too. Fury know it. They take sight straight away, and Sushi will start getting that plant down. Intel coming out. Leb denies actually from below. Still a lot of time for Fury to recover this though. And this angle is being held as Leb pushes up. Perfectly timed.
That was way too on time there, Rock. Cleaning that one up, finishing at 3 apiece. And all I've got to say, Spruce, what are you doing? Letting your team down there.
All on his shoulders, eh? Wins one round for him and loses the next.
I am just all about the roast game on that one. It's so beautiful. But that C4, I mean, it nearly gives Leb a chance to get back into it. So kudos to Leb for the attempt. It would have had to have been an ace 1v4 clutch though, which
not easy, eh?
You know, is doable if you, I don't know, if you're God.
I mean, that's actually a good way to put emphasis on the early run-out death there from Spruce. If he just stayed passive for extra 30 seconds or so in break room, even if he died and just delayed everything by that time, Leb's denial could have been much more impactful. I mean, who's to say the round would have played out the same way, but it is an example to say, hey, if you just delayed time more, even if you guys died, Leb would have had more of a chance to actually clutch that.
Yeah.
With Fury actually having 50 seconds at that stage. there's not a lot Lev could have done. Like, you can't play the clock as a single player at that stage.
Yeah, not when your C4's already gone.
Yeah.
Use one C4 and you're only down to a 1v3. That's completely fine. You can definitely do that. I feel like maybe I'm just going to become a motivation coach.
10 seconds to go.
Just going to sit in the Discord and wait for people to start getting a little bit antsy and just
5
scream at them.
seconds left before insertion.
That's motivation, right? Well, Kanga definitely have motivation of their own because it was all downhill from the start of the match, but very quickly that changed. Rock puts it back in time, but setting himself up nicely with that barbed wire. A bit of emphasis being put towards security. This is what we saw from Kanga in the early round. However, it was Shady that was having no bar.
Yeah, and there's two decisions that you can make once you identify that a team is really hard holding that security room there. You either try and hard clear it, which can be done. It's a little challenging sometimes, but it can be done. Otherwise, you hard rotate and try and take out the office. And I mean, triple wall is completely soft. So being able to open that puts a lot of pressure and allows you to get a bit more of a foothold. Some teams find that the much more comfortable option. But we're seeing Kanga hard push into this roam, which is Rock and Shade really hanging around that area. They will need to get some opening kills here, otherwise this could be round done nice and early.
Well, Shady's looking to take that peak. Whether he actually finds out in the break room or not, that's another question, but they could still actually cause a fair bit of drama here. Minute 30 off the clock. And now Kanga start to get a little bit more hungry for these kills. They're opening up some decent lines here, and now it's going to be Boats taking the first contact, but Shady was the first to open up and actually finds a second as well. Oh my word, trades are plentiful here, Raven.
Yeah, lots of back and forth, and I mean, like, that angle is a bit questionable because while it was to watch the rotate of Shade, he used it against them. He actually got 2 picks from playing around that. So not too sure Kanga fully thought that through. Either way, they have tried to progress and to no success. 3 versus 1, all up to Wayne Man.
He hits the first one. Never mind. Thank you, Shady. He's well and truly done. He just wants to finish this map, head on to the next one. Just to keep in mind, this is Fury's map pick in a best of 1. It's hard to say that, but it is still their map pick nevertheless. So we are expecting them to have a better result, regardless of whether we've seen either of these teams play Border in the past 8 match days on Pro League, which, by the way, we haven't. Definitely something up the sleeve, though.
Yeah, that was a good defense from Fury. I think maybe a bad read from Kanga to try and hard push through break and security. They never had a good grip on isolating those roamers. Their main crux there, or the way they were trying to deal with that, was to cut the rotate out of the wood section in security. Some people call that Brazil because it's a really heavily played position in Latin America. But it was actually used against them. So I think next time we might see something different from them. Hopefully even a rotate. I think the office push might have been the play there. But Fury will be defending vents now because it was a successful defense. So we'll see what Kanga can do when they attack this bomb site.
Hopefully a little bit more. Once again, you're not really going to see any bomb site met with no presence on top or bottom floor. It's quite important to ensure that you're not just giving away that vertical play for free, especially with, say, the large majority, pretty much the entire map being openable. Is that a... No, that's definitely not English. That's just my own made-up just gibberish.
It's 2020. You can say openable, I think.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Yes, I can, Raven.
It's probably...
You have empowered me.
It's probably on Urban Dictionary, so that's legit, right?
It has to be. If it's on Urban Dictionary, you just don't argue. You hit him with the don't argue and you walk away. So openable is now officially a word.
One thing I noticed in prep phase actually, Boats and Wayne both lost their drones quite early. Thanks to this new eye, it's quite clear to see. And that is worrisome because they're both more flex support players, and you would want them to have their early drones available. Rock gets an early pick, as does Warden. Not sure what's happening here from Kanga. ill-advised early first minute again, really losing their rounds in that first minute. Something that they are doing, whether it's a decision or the way they're pushing or peeking, is costing them valuable people, for one. Intel, lots of things. So they really need to tidy this up here, trying to be a little aggressive, maybe a little too early.
Just to add to that point, that is the first round since the start of the match that Shady has not been in an opening duel, which I kind of think is a little outrageous, and he's gone 4 for 3, so currently a positive KDR on that opening duel of 1. Spruce not so much. Don't worry, I'll talk about you in a second, Spruce.
Yeah, now Fury looking very comfortable in these defenses so far. Kanga did take 2 rounds though when they were on their defense to adapt to how Fury were playing, so maybe they do just need a couple of rounds again to do the same thing as they attack. Not getting much control here though, which isn't going to be working out too well, and quite split. I mean, Leb is down in Tellers by himself. No, actually he's got Wayman with him, but Unit is up in Fountain by himself. He's probably just trying to catch a rotate through Archives. That hatch drop. But there's still a lot of control for Fury here. They've got Golden and Warden playing around Workshop. They probably both have C4s they can use to deny a plant. Sushi and Shade both still able to play vertically.
It feels like whatever they're gaining, they're also losing. And with Unit dropping so low here, it looks like...
Oop,
Hello?
just teasing.
Shady? Okay, fair enough. Well, he's literally... What? He has literally joined the attack of Kanga here. He is one with the attackers as he falls. No! It's just getting worse. Shady is tearing Kanga apart.
Allowing him to do that, not great. I mean, the player prone holding the angle in Tellers didn't catch him on the rotate either. It's a bit of a lost round at that stage by Kanga anyway. They didn't have anywhere near as much map control as needed. It was just going to be relying on them getting some picks. Wayne Man, not too much he can do here, does manage to stay alive at least. Not padding his death stat and not allowing Fury to pad a kill stat, but not looking too good with Kanga on these attacks. They're just not able to sink their teeth in to any real map control.
I think that's probably been the biggest point to make. One, on the first 2 rounds of their attack, and on the first 2 rounds of their defense as well. Sinking your teeth in, Raven. You've said it perfectly. Being able to bite down and get yourself into this game is probably one of the most important things to start off with. And with Kanga just convincingly losing both opening rounds of each half, it's definitely caused all sorts of problems. Blitz being 6-picked to the dock, I believe, and a Maverick for... I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was the Hibana, but regardless, they will be taking in the Maverick instead.
Yeah, and they will be attacking customs, which, I mean, usually if you want to try and get a customs plan, or even in supply, you try and take security breakthrough. That's really important. Kanga completely failed to try and do that when they were attacking Armory, because it seems like it's going to be a very similar roam here. Shade on that dock was playing up there. I believe it was also Warden. Oh no, Warden was playing a different role, but they had the Mozzie playing around there. Regardless, similar setup here, similar strat. Kanga will have to take that out if they want to have a comfortable chance to plan.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So far, there's only been 1 round that has finished for other reasons other than a team being wiped, and that was the previous with the time running. So just something interesting to keep your eyes on. More often than not, we are seeing that. And Unit now coming up. Kanga kind of feels a little bit calmer. I feel like all the initial start to the attacking rounds has kind of been pretty frantic, and that was a C4 of some description.
I've seen that hit a couple of times, but yeah, maybe Rock could have pulled the scanner out first to check if they were still hanging around near the window. Either way, no impact, so no C4 to worry about for Kanga. Made entry here on the east side, Unit and Spruce, meaning that they've got east stairs control, but a run out from the Archives doorway. No, actually it was the office window. That is Shade again, the opening pick. Just really tearing Kanga apart in that first phase of their attacks.
It's Shade again, but it's also Spruce again. Unfortunately, he is not having a good start. Rock as well, knowing full well there is a player at the top of these stairs, being able to see the head. Won't need to pop it. In fact, it's going to be done beforehand and gets away scot-free. Boats gives away his position, and I'm sure Rock will eventually find that on the scanner. Everywhere that Kanga turn, they're being crunched on. Leb, however, gives them a moment to rest and relax. There's a minute 15 left, and nothing has been done for Kanga.
No, they really have struggled to gain map control on any of their attack rounds, and that continues to trend here. The remaining Kanga members are going to have a terrible time trying to get things done. I mean, they might be able to take a bit of office control here, but Sushi is still sitting very comfortably in security. He's about to get droned out by Wayne. They do have the control over an armor here, so they've got a little bit of vertical control, but there's just such little time. They've still got to flush out this player who is picking up frags. And even if they get this guy, they've got to try and do some kind of vertical play. There's no hard breach remaining now. Let's say this is looking much more like a Fury round.
Over till the fat lady sings regardless of where we lie in a 2 versus 3. There's still a possibility here. Boats is going to send it down the hatch. Wayneman finds Warden, and all of a sudden, Golden walks into the line. They just need to be careful of the last remaining member, and Shady shots going through the walls, left, right, and center. Only 6 seconds remain, and it looks like Wayneman is going to try to plant safe here. Shady, has he heard? Does he know the position? He's tagged up Wayneman in the smallest, but it's actually going to finish him in the end with the sidearm. And another round for Fury, regardless of how close it is.
Yeah, I mean, there was a good attempt from Kanga to bring that back, and I like the decision from Wayneman to try and plant. Maybe he would have adjusted his position forward a little bit, just to be a little bit unpredictable for a common pre-fire spot that Shade was able to take advantage of. And it means that Fury are now on match point. They're up 6-3. They've been very dominant in their defenses now, and Kanga have just struggled so much on entry, constantly battling with man disadvantages.
Well, that is 100% a fact. 5 openings for Shade, whereas alone on the team of Kanga, they haven't even been able to amount to 3. So it has not really been the greatest start for Kanga in this second half of Pro League, but it is still left with a bit of time to claw it back and possibly salvage a point here, but already on the bottom of the ladder, they need to be careful because every point that eludes them from here on out, it's Fury, Sinister, and Knights left that they have to play. Obviously, Fury right now in front of you, they are looking like the better team. And with Sinister and Knights left, I don't know how many points Kanga are going to be able to pull out here. Every round is going to be crucial.
And I mean, for a while, Kanga were toying with Sinister right down at the bottom of the ladder. But considering Sinister's form last night and how they might be able to perform against teams like Kanga, I think it's looking a little grim for them. But then again, let's talk about the fact that Border was a bit of a surprise, for us at least. Maybe it was for Kanga as well. It wouldn't be the first time Pittsburgh Knights took Border off of TBD in super dominant fashion. Pretty sure that was 7-1.
Yep.
And Ippy Style from TBD said it was a surprise for them. It was a mistake that it got through to Vito. That could be what's happened here. Maybe Kanga were trying to bait it out, and it just came here. And it was a missed bluff or something like that. We could potentially find out in the interview. But my point being that maybe they aren't just playing bad, maybe they were a little underprepared for this situation or this map.
Be devastating to know. It's funny how, you know, generally when we start talking about something, it has been confirmed in the past day or two. And the veto process is something we spoke about yesterday as well with TBD, who managed to call it quite confidently. And they were very happy with the way it all panned out. Maybe this is the same case. So we'll wait and see, Raven. We'll get to have a chat with them in a short little while. Golden at the moment just going to be sitting on the other side of Fountain. Completely opened up, and Unit and Spruce both find an entry, and they have absolutely walked all over the team of FURY.
Casting aside the trend of failed entries, getting 3 quick entries once they had some breaches open. And I like this call. I said last time that they attacked Armory, they tried to just push through that security break room, and it was an absolute fail. This time they've absolutely exploited the office side, and they're in a 5v1 advantage right here. In fact, they might even close it out. No, Warden denies the flawless round, but regardless, I don't see him being able to get this 1v5 clutch. It's going to take a massive effort.
Especially being just under 25 HP now. He's not detected crossing, so he might have a chance here. Looks to see if he can find anything out on the Archives platform, but nothing, so Seed's back in. There are multiple lines being watched right now. You would have to imagine the second he turns the corner, he will be spotted. He will see another head there. I don't know whether he was able to actually spot that or not, but be damn sure Unit did. And Kanga bounced back. They're not done just yet, Raven.
No, they got a chance to bring it back, and they tightened up their entries. They got those picks, whether it was just winning their gunfights or a better strategy. I definitely rate the call to not push security break room this time. They went and pushed the office. It had a massive vulnerability in that triple wall was completely soft. That's easy enough to open, and you can cut a lot with that, just line of sight. So well played by them. 2 more rounds, and they can actually get a point out of this. Kanga can somewhat salvage what has been generally one-sided for FURY.
That's a definite fact in the way that we have seen this play out. Obviously, there were a couple of rounds in the first half where Kanga were looking good, but bar that last round just then, the defensive side of FURY has been sound and completely solid. And you do have to give it to Kanga's offense there, obviously quite calculated in opening up those direct lines and office and continuing to just put the pressure onto that defensive side, never letting them settle. And FURY obviously still on match point. It's only going to take one, and it's only going to take a small slip up from Kanga, which could all spiral out of control.
That it could, and they've decided to rotate bomb side. I mean, I was wondering whether they might repeat Armory and make some adaptations to how Kanga decided to attack on that round, but they've actually kept it in the pocket. They've rotated defense. They did win this quite comfortably last time, again off the back of a failed entry from Kanga. So let's see whether Kanga can adapt to this time around. They did a great job with Armory that time. This is their chance to get it back for Vents.
Kanga approaching from the southwest side, coming in through security, and once again, here's the information from Rock. Such a vital operator in being able to gain that intel on the outer side of the building, and just so early on knowing where Kanga is setting up from. They may not be able to stop anything per se, but they will definitely get further intel and maybe be able to prep likewise. Shady, a very close line right now, right out of Armory door. Unit just on the other side will now for sure know where Shady is, but it's not a free passage, that's for sure.
No, it's not, but this is a better entry from Kanga. They're able to get some map control, spotting out the pulse. That C4 hitting though, so taking out the IQ. A nice trade. Coming back, Warden off the board on the Mozzie. C4 not used by him at least. Attempting a flank, it looks like. Waveman catching that. So again, a bit better from Kanga on entry. They got some map control. They've contested and they've managed to trade out that entry at least. A bit better than last time, but they're starting to pass the halfway mark of this round. To start putting a lot more pressure onto this north side.
Shady just waiting for that time in which he might be able to, I want to say might be able to engage on Unit or Leb there. They are putting a fair bit of emphasis there. Finally opening up as well. That will force Shady completely out of position. Unit finds a small line and executes perfectly. Still needs to be cautious of the one member around the corner. Sushi, that is, just in toward Fountain. Trying to lock down those vertical angles if they do decide to push on here.
I feel like Shade was trying to run towards the hatch to rotate. Not too sure. Maybe he should have just doubled back towards Fountain. Sushi and he could have played off each other instead, but they've both been fragged out, leaving Fury in a man disadvantage. Rock is in difficult to flush position in supply. He'll have to be peeked there. Looks like Wayne Man holding the angle. Oh, it might be missed. He might have looked at it and thought he was gone. Rock can stay very comfortable here. Could catch him off guard.
And will do as well. He'll get away with it. Golden drops Leb. 15 seconds left. Unit is nowhere near the diffuser. Hatch isn't open either. This is not good. But he's not going to open it up on the first attempt. It's done and dusted. Put a fork in it. Because guess what? Fury, they're going to walk away. They're going to walk away with Border.
They are going to walk away with Border, and fair to say, Fury controlled most of that map anyway, so I feel like this victory is justified. But that round was in Kanga's grasp.
Yep.
It really was. And Fury stuck deep, were able to get the picks when it mattered at the end. Rock with an MVP performance on the pulse, and if not for anything, a lot of intel gathered. I mean, yeah, he got 11 frags, but we saw it at the start of that round. He had 3 on his scanner, and just that kind of intel helps your team so much.
Really capitalized on it. I gotta say, that's probably one of the more uneventful finishes to a map that I have ever seen. And Kanga now, they're in a bit of trouble. Only 4 points at the very